That girl can never afford the nicer things in life, even though she works so hard. I pressed my lips together to hold back a snippy response. Last time we talked, though, I got the feeling she might be having problems. Now I can't reach her. I wouldn't worry, I said, pooh-poohing my aunt's concerns. Like a cat, she always lands on her feet. I mouthed the words, "Sorry, Bootsy," to my feline companion. Returning to Aunt Belinda, I said, Liza is shrewd, tough, and has a sharp edge that keeps her safe even while those around her get sliced to ribbons. "What's happened to you, Grace?" Aunt Belinda asked. "How did you get so calloused? You're not still working at Marshfield, are you?" As a matter of fact, I am. Allowing a little pride to creep into my voice, I added, I couldn't ask for a better job. I don't know how you abide it there. The place always gave me the creeps. How could I explain that despite recent goings-on, I'd never felt more appreciated or more loved than I did working for Bennett? Ever since I'd taken the position as curator and manager of Marshfield Manor, the mansion tourist attraction museum that was the jewel of Emberstowne, I'd felt as though I'd come home. I drew in a breath to explain, but thought better of sharing personal sentiments. What I said was, "This is where I was meant to be." "Oh, I see now. It's obvious they have you snowed. You're just like your mother." Unwilling to go down this route again, I said, "Listen, I'm a little pressed for time. How old is billionaire Bennett Marshfield anyway? Shouldn't he be dead by now?" "Bennett is in excellent health, and I'm lucky to be part of his life," I said, clipping my words. How dare she say such a thing? If I had my wish, Bennett would never die. But I really am going to have to cut this short. I have an appointment this morning. "What kind of appointment?" Bennett and I intended to undergo DNA testing today. His goal was to set to rest, once and for all, the question of our blood relationship. With Aunt Belinda's hateful attitude toward Marshfield and its illustrious family, I refused to bear that part of my life to her. Truth was, I harbored a secret belief that Aunt Belinda knew, or at least suspected, that her mother had carried on an affair with Bennett's father, an involvement that had resulted in my mother's birth. Tempting though it was to broach the subject, I didn't want to open that particular Pandora's box. "I need to get some blood drawn." "Oh." For all of Aunt Belinda's yammering about doctor visits and health scares, she was unfailingly disinterested in the well-being of others, or at least mine. "You'll let me know if you hear from Liza?" "I really don't expect to. She has no use for me anymore, does she?" "That's a real shame, you know. Liza looks up to you. You ought to reach out and offer her a hand. You have so much, and she has so little." The doorbell rang, sparing Aunt Belinda from my irate outburst. "I have to go. My ride's here." "Oh?" Her interest piqued at last. She asked, "A new beau?" "Not quite. Take care, Aunt Belinda. Bye." Bootsy scampered after me as I hurried to the front door. Thank goodness I'd gotten ready early. My aunt's call could have set me behind schedule. I smoothed the sides of my navy sweater and tugged at the hem of my blue tweed skirt as I went to greet my escort for the day. Ronnie Tooney and I had taken an unlikely path toward friendship. Middle-aged, with a bit of a paunch and a generally unkempt appearance, Tooney had recently attained his long-desired goal when he'd been named official private investigator to Marshfield Manor. I'd done the hiring, but only after Bennett had given his blessing. Tooney had proven to be one of Marshfield's most steadfast allies. Cold January air spilled in when I drew open the door. In the split second it took my brain to process that the man in the gray suit wasn't Tooney, I chastised myself for not taking the time to check first. That sharp discomfort, coupled with the visitor's unwelcome step closer to the storm door, triggered my testiness. I raised my voice to be heard through the glass.